Yes. In the beginning, it used to be men cross-dressing or men becoming women or men wanting to be women. Lately, it's been many more women going over to the male side. Remember we were talking about that story X amount of months ago where I was telling you that Drew was talking to some sociologist or somebody like that who was thinking or who posited that a lot of heavy exposure to hardcore porn may have also been steering it this way. Like, I don't want to be underneath Ron Jeremy. You know what I mean? I don't know anyone who does. Maybe his cellmate now. So I think there's more traffic going from the women to the men department. In the past, it was probably more from the men to the women. And I would just guess that. And then you go to the Army, you get a cool uniform. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so what's more manly than boots and tight dungarees and one of those weird belts that has no holes in it for some reason? Right. I don't know why. But whenever they did the uniform decree on the military uniforms, like, we can have belts, but no loops. Understand? But one smooth strap with some weird system where you slide it and you cinch it, and then there's a weird camber. There's a weird locking mechanism, and then someone went, well, people had belts with holes in them for the last several hundred years. No!
Not in this man's army.
Not in this man's army. We need them to be like weird ratchet straps where you hold down your gardening equipment in the back of your pickup truck. Like we need them to be like tie-downs. They're really not belts. We call them waist tie-downs, shirt tie-downs, no holes in belts. And then everyone's like, but I don't get it. It'll ruin the aesthetic of the entire outfit. We can't have that.
It's not for you to get, son.
Yeah, that's right. Yours is not to ask why. Remember,
pay grade.
You know what's weird is I was thinking about as I was thinking about getting haircuts today and all that kind of stuff. Every movie, Officer and a Gentleman, was this way. Every 70s and 80s movie always started with the haircut in basic training because you think about it, when they were recruiting, like you take like Full Metal Jacket or something like that, when you're taking people off of college campuses or out of society in 1969 and bringing them into this man's army, you're going from super long Keith Partridge hair to shorn like a sheep. Wouldn't make a difference in today's Patrick Mahomes State Farm commercial. Like, it just so what? You get your hair buzzed. You may walk in that way.
Brian's ready to go.
That's
I'm ready
right.
for basic training.
All right, good. We've opened up the military.
So this is a little bit long, but I think worth it because we have another Army Hammer update. I did not care about this story, and now I do. So,
well, I only cared about it because he doth protest too much.
Yes, and we have some bizarre stories coming out now. I mean, not just like, whatever. They're more specific. So for the past 2 weeks,
he dropped out of a big movie because someone wrote some weird texts that weren't, or tweets that weren't true, or something. Like, why would you drop out of a movie in that case? Yeah. But yes, here we go.
So for the past 2 weeks, various women have come forward with claims about him and his personal life, while his main unnamed accuser has claimed that more than 200 women have contacted her regarding similar relationships with Armie Hammer. Since then, 2 more of his former girlfriends have publicly come forward to share their stories. Now, check this out. Here's the 2 of them. App creator Courtney Vucekovich. She dated Hammer from June to October of last year, according to Page 6. She said she wouldn't be surprised if the screenshots were legitimate. She said, he said to me he wants to break my rib and barbecue and eat it. The claims all share another common theme, which is Hammer allegedly exhibited grooming and other emotionally abusive behavior toward all the women the same way. Meanwhile, in January, the interview with Star Magazine model Paige Lorenz, she made similar claims about Hammer. They dated right after, from October to December, just a few months ago, right after Vucekovich. So Lorenz says, quote, he said he wanted to find a doctor that would remove my ribs. He was telling me you can remove the bottom ribs so you could smoke them, cook them, and eat them. He kept saying, you don't need them. But she said it just wasn't all talk. Lorenz claimed that he carved the letter A into her skin using a knife, which was very painful, and that Hammer made a big deal about it. Now, of course, he's being very quiet about this. He's been married for 10 years to Elizabeth Chambers. They're going through a divorce. He's saying this is all bullshit, but yes, he is stepping away from a major film with J-Lo right now. Both women said he wanted to cut my ribs out and eat them.
Well, hold on. Was he doing the A in order to sort of mark her as his territory, or was he trying to get her to pledge a black fraternity? Because those...
You know what? I have not done my due diligence.
Wait, option C, like branding a steak.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that he could get down
That
with.
Actually adds up.
Yeah. Now, I guess we'll know if this is true or not by whether he enters rehab, right?
Yes.
Yeah, voluntarily. Yeah.
Mea culpa.
Because if you enter rehab...
Preemptively, sure.
Yeah.
Kind of a weird thing. There's this rib thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to tell. Is it goofy, weird, jokey stuff?
Yeah, is that like Prince Charles wanting to be the tampon or whatever? Like, I don't think he actually wants to physically transform into a tampon, but he's a horny dude.
Well, my grandfather used to say you can break the world down into two parts. Son, you want to be the tampon, you want to be the string. And I've always said, I want to be the string, Pappy. And he
sounds
said,
better in the original Hungarian.
Right.
I get the idea.
There was some hammer nail one, too, that he would use, but I forgot about that one.
Yeah, sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you're the windshield. Yeah. Same thing.
Right. But you want to be the string, not the
right.
tampon. Could be some sort of weird thing. On the other hand, I hate to get too judgmental here, but he's a real blue blood who comes from wealth, like major wealth with the Arm & Hammer, right? Like, this feels very. This doesn't feel like new money to me.
No,
this feels like old money.
I don't even know if it's funny. Armand Hammer, not the brand Arm and Hammer, but it is Armand Hammer was his great grandfather, the oil tycoon.
Right.
Who had nothing to do with the product?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I don't know that they're related, are they?
I don't know. I can no longer.
But his name is Armand Hammer.
Yeah, I think it is from that. But either way, he comes from a lot of long, rich bloodline.
Yes.
Right. And this does feel a little like that kind of thing, that kind of weird rich guy stuff. Arm & Hammer, not related to Arm & Hammer, but still comes from a bunch of money.
Robert Kraft, not related to Kraft cheese.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
Bizarre.
Yeah, I think he's the Gillette guy, right? I mean, he's the razor guy? Or am I now
Kraft?
swimming in that?
We're getting out in the weeds.
Bob Kraft, yeah. Who the hell's who's the Gillette razor guy? It's Gillette Stadium.
It's Mr. Gillette.
Oh.
The guy bought the...
I don't know about that.
Who was the guy who bought the company? He used to do that commercial. I liked it so much I bought the company.
Oh, yeah.
He looked like Bob Kraft, but that guy's got to be too old by now. All right, we'll figure out, where did Bob Kraft make his bones? Max Pattis on a chase.
We just talked about this.
Yeah.
Manufacturing or something.
Shipping. So you think that it's more likely, in theory, that he would be creepy because he's old money?
I am
There's something
saying...
Like his pleasure centers have been so blown out, he has to go to smoking human ribs?
I am saying that, I've always told you the guys that are going out to the dominatrix and all that stuff, these are rich whitey. You know what I mean? The
right.
Regular folk, new money, they want to get laid. You know what I mean? Like they may be into a little...
Old-fashioned.
They may be in a little, like, let me smell your feet. But by and large, this feels like a weird old thing to me. That's all.
Yeah.
Plus, in a world where we have baby back ribs, who wants human ribs?
I don't know. Also, sometimes guys have a rap that they think is funny, and they'll use it on every
Yes.
woman, and they should learn their lesson that it's not. But maybe this is part of this sort of weird rap. Where'd Bob Kraft make his bones, Maxipata?
It started off at a packaging company, and then traded. Then in trading physical paper commodities,
nowhere exciting.
Yeah, it's not
Nothing
exciting.
sexy.
Is he happy?
Paper commodities.
Is he rooting for Tom Brady?
I'll bet he is.
You think he wants him to win this Super Bowl?
Well, if it's not against his team, yeah, I'll bet he does.
I don't know. I feel like these guys, these captains of industry guys, are pretty competitive.
They hold a grudge.
Belichick's not rooting for a victory, is he?
I would say less likely.
And Bob Kraft, is he? It doesn't tarnish his legacy at the Patriots, but it doesn't help.
Were they close? Like, I thought Bob Kraft was like a father to me, like Tom Brady and him.
Yeah, there, but I feel like
go.
my dad hopes the worst happens to me, and we're father and son. It can exist.
Actual father and son.
Yes,
right.
it can exist. I don't know if you got Bob Kraft really drunk. I'll put this poll out there. You people can tweet me if we got Bob Kraft really fucking drunk and asked him if he'd like Brady to win the Super Bowl. Would he say, "I don't want to see him get hurt. I'd like them to have a good day, but I don't really want him to win"? Or would he just go, I hope he wins by 40 points? Do you think he'd have no feelings about it?
I think when he gets to be that rich, you don't care about, I don't know. I think you don't care about the minutia of who wins and loses a game you're not in. Like,
and you're that rich. What do you have but spite?
Well, he's definitely rooting. He's going to be rooting one way or the other. He's going to have a team that he wants to win. Does he want to see Brady win a Does he want him to win a Super Bowl outside of a Patriot uniform?
Is there a world where Brady winning makes Belichick look bad, but Kraft look better?
Well, kind of. But here's the thing: you have to picture this too. He wins. He's at his 10th Super Bowl, first time in 54 Super Bowls. They played one or 55, where they 54 or whatever. They played it, where the home team has been the home stadium, and maybe, just maybe, if he wins that Super Bowl, many of the pictures that are up in Canton are him in a Bucs uniform, like celebrating or whatever. Now,
that would be bold.
Robert's got to kind of contend with, do you want pictures of Brady in a Bucs uniform hoisting the Lombardi above his head with the ticker tape falling down? Like, I bet he doesn't want that image out there.
Right, because if it's Y.A. Tittle, you don't think of him in the Niners. Or, you know what I mean? Like, if it's Joe Namath, you'll think of him in the Rams uniform,
Right.
Like, because he's kind of ended with a whimper.
So far, every picture of Brady winning a Super Bowl is obviously in Kraft's uniform. All right, let's do Arm & Hammer served on the board.
Arm & Hammer would get asked so many times if he was related to Arm & Hammer, the baking soda, that he eventually just bought a bunch of shares and owned the company for the last few years because he was just got asked so many times.
As a joke, he bought a company.
Yes.
It's like Schitt's Creek. He bought a town because the name sounded funny.
All right, let's do one more, Gina Grass.
All right. Well, since we're talking about the Super Bowl, and I'm sure Christy will have more knowledge on this, Super Bowl viewers tuning in for the commercials won't be seeing the Clydesdales this year.
I heard about
Budweiser announced that it will not advertise because the game on February 7th, they're not the beer brand will skip the game for the first time in 37 years, citing financial uncertainty due to the pandemic. Instead, the company plans to spend the money throughout the year on ad council campaigns to raise awareness about the COVID-19 vaccine. Bud Light, though, will run an ad during the game. Other unusual advertisers, Coke, Pepsi, Hyundai, also announced they will be taking the year off. Although Pepsi is sponsoring the Super Bowl halftime show, and CBS is charging $5.5 million for a 30-second spot, but they're without some of their big, heavy hitters.
All right, two things, Adam. So I'm going to jump in here. Number one, this is the year to get in on the Super Bowl, break the bank, because number one, I don't know how they estimate the audience because so many people at Super Bowl parties. Like, there must be an average of 18 people watching every television. You know what I mean? Like, some average, they must figure out. This is the year people are going to be at home watching their own TVs, so the numbers may be up. Number two, people are going to be home, not at parties, paying attention to the commercials for the first, like, I imagine half the people just don't get the nuances of the commercial because they're talking and they're at a party and blah,
Get
blah,
more
blah.
chili dip.
This is the year you're watching the game. Or you're watching the commercials. Like, this is the year to go in.
Yeah, you can't even really hear the sound.